Yeah, growing up in Newport was it was a really special place. Small town, seasonal, a lot going on in the summer. You know, the sailing and America's Cup races, Tennis Hall of Fame. It was a sports-oriented town too, and I ended up, like I said, my parents were really encouraged playing sports, and I loved football when I was a kid. Played a lot of football. Played Pop Warner. Played high school. We won the state championship 2 out of the 3 years I was there in high school. I caught the winning catch in the state championship game to beat Hendricken. Made All-State in football. I was thinking, okay, now I'm gonna play in the NFL, and I got a scholarship to URI, and got there so excited to play, and it was like hitting a wall with the size, the players that I was running into, getting my head handed to me several times by some of these defensive backs, and suddenly realized I don't think this is my sport. And I had played golf when I was a kid. Wasn't my favorite sport. Was one of the sports I played in the springtime. But the athletic director let me transfer my scholarship over to golf. And my last couple of years, I played on the golf team, and I loved it. I mean, I absolutely loved it. We played in New England college golf and did well. I played in a couple of NCAA championships. And for some reason, naively so, I started thinking, hey, maybe I can do this for a living. And you know, I was a pretty good. I was a good hockey player. Maybe it's because every sport I played, I wanted to. I had dreams of doing it professionally. I wanted to be a hockey player too. I loved hockey, so I went from playing football at URI to being on the golf team, and then 2 years later, I was playing the mini tours in Florida with Jim Hallett, and who's a New England, Massachusetts kid, who's a good guy, played on the tour. But you know, I remember playing them. I remember saying to my dad, "Yeah, I think I'm going to turn pro." And he goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to try to play the PGA Tour." And he said, and my parents didn't play golf, and that probably was a good thing, because if he knew how difficult it was, he may have discouraged me. But he was very supportive and said, "Hey, go for it. Why don't you give it a couple of years?" And so I went down here. I was down here in Florida and started playing the mini tours, and started kind of just improving. My game was getting better, and I was covering my expenses, so I was making enough money to just keep going. And then I went to Asia and played the Asian tour and the South American tour and South African tour, and I started doing well. And then I made it through the tour school after several tries, and it was just so weird. I remember calling my dad from the PGA West in La Quinta in 1988, and I said, "Hey, Dad, I just made it." And of course, he was following me. And he goes, "What are we going to do now?" I said, well, we both asked. I said, well, "What am I going to do now? I'm on the tour." And I really probably had no business trying, because I wasn't, you know, coming from a state with Brad Fax and Billy Andrade, who were junior All-Americans, phenomenal players, who basically just walked out onto the tour because they were that good. Maybe I was like, okay, those guys can do it, maybe I can. But I didn't have any kind of record to even fall back on to say, hey, I think I can do it. I was, you know, I like sports, and I didn't really want to get a real job, so I kept trying, and I got better, and you know, I became a very good golfer, but still, there's a lot of good golfers that never get on the tour. But I got out there, and after like the West Coast my rookie year, I missed every cut. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to make a cut out here. And well, I came back to the East Coast, and I got into New Orleans, and I shot 70, made the cut, my first cut, or my second cut. I think I made one at the Honda, but I made the cut at the Honda, and then I went to New Orleans. And third day, I'm playing with Tom Watson at English Turn, and I got to tell you, I was so nervous. He was standing there like this on the first tee, real close to me as I teed up on the right side, and I go, I'm not going to be able to hit this golf ball. And somehow I hit it right down the middle, and I never looked back. I kind of broke through this kind of emotional barrier that I had for myself, can I play with Tom Watson, or can I play with Seve Ballesteros? And I shot 67 that day, 5 birdies, no bogeys, beat Tom Watson by 2 shots, and then I played with Payne Stewart the next day and played well, and I finished 5th. And I broke through. I said, oh my God, I can play the tour. I just finished 5th, and where 3 years ago I didn't, I was in Bangkok, Thailand, just trying to make a cut. But so it was an evolution for me. I kind of went from just being a decent athlete to pretty good in one sport, and then getting out, having a career on the tour where I was able to stay on the tour for 10 years and make a living out of it. And it's been a great ride. It's been I'm definitely a journeyman. Journeyman is the category I fall into, where I've been all over the place. But it's been a nice journey, and I wouldn't trade it. If I had to do it over again, I'd just do it all over again.